Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Advisor with Stacey Chillemi. And today I'm very excited because we have a very special guest on this show today, and his name is Cody Butler, and he is a best-selling author and coach. And he had recently wrote the book Cut the BS: A No-Nonsense Guide to Happiness. And he's here today to show you how to achieve happiness in your life. So I'm very excited to have him on the show. Cody, it's a privilege to have you on the show. I'm really excited to hear about all the different tools and techniques and different ways that we could achieve happiness in our own lives because a lot of people struggle with that. So tell us a little about yourself and let's get into this topic about happiness because I'm really excited to learn a little bit more.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on, Stacey. I really appreciate it. So this my life was for the longest time, most of my adult life really is like there was just a low level hum of unhappiness underneath everything that was going on. It wasn't clinical depression or anything like that, but it was definitely there was a reset point that was always suboptimal. It was dark, it was unhappy, it was gloomy, and I'd have moments of success and I'd have moments of achievement, but I'd always reset back to that place of unhappiness and emotional turmoil. Really, the space in my head was not a place to live, and I pursued many different avenues to really overcome that. Uh, because it's just not nice when you've got that ongoing sense of doom and gloom inside of your head. So that was my always been my goal there was to overcome that base level of unhappiness.
It must be hard going through life and feeling that unhappiness in your heart because there's so many people out there that struggle with wanting to be happy and they just don't know how because they've been through so much in life. They just don't know how to turn their life around. And they wake up every morning and they look in the mirror. They don't like who they see. They don't like the way their life is. And they hold so much anger, resentment, unhappiness in the heart, and they just don't feel a purpose in life. So when you struggle in life and you don't feel that inner happiness, what are some of the things, someone could begin to do to actually help themselves get out of this turmoil and really start to open themselves up to change and start to experience the wonders of happiness?
Well, I think the main thing is understanding that happiness is an inside job. Like I tell people all the time, if you can't be happy where you are with what you have, then maybe happiness is beyond your grasp. Maybe you can't have happiness in your life.
Right.
And in my situation, I pursued many different things. I thought that finances and money would make me happy, and I pursued money and I achieved it. Yet every morning I woke up in a state of anxiety. I vomited every morning. That was the first thing that I did. And I achieved the financial success, but I was very unhappy. Then I thought, well, maybe my dream relationship is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I achieved the relationship, yet still there's that niggling unhappiness. And then I go through these different paths and try to achieve happiness out there in the world. And all that happens is you reach the destination and then you go, is this it? Is this all there is? Surely there's more. And ultimately happiness comes from it's the attainment or the pursuit of a worthy ideal. It's purpose. It's finding purpose and moving in that purpose. And then when you do that, when you find why it is that you're here and you start to operate in that mission,
Yeah.
that's when you start to find happiness and understanding that happiness, it's very cliched, but happiness is a journey, not a destination. If you think that you're going to just achieve something and then be happy, you're going to be very disappointed.
Right. Oh, I agree 100%. Now, when it comes to inner happiness and going within yourself, trying to figure out that purpose in life, for many people, that's a very hard task to do. Some people go through their entire lives trying to figure out what my purpose, what my mission is in life, and they just can't figure it out. And they go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, and they still can't figure out what their purpose is. For you, how did you actually figure out what your purpose in life was? How were you able to achieve that sense of inner happiness?
So I can give you the secret super quick to purpose if you want it. And the
Yeah.
answer is out of your mess comes your message, out of your pain comes your purpose, out of your darkness comes your light.
Wow.
And again, this is one of the things we do. I have a system, a RISE system called RISC. We can talk about that a little bit. That helps you find your purpose, helps you move out of the darkness. But here's the thing, right? you can curse your mess, or you can understand that out of your mess comes your message.
Hmm.
You can curse your pain and say, "Damn you, pain," or you can embrace the pain and say, "Out of my pain will come my message." And that's it's finding meaning in what seems to be meaningless. So for me, I'm very happy now. I've found happiness. I've found the pathway to happiness.
Yeah.
And that's why I do what I do, because I was deeply unhappy for a very long time. And there came a point where I'm like, is this it for me? Is this my reality? Is this the rest of my life? Is this how I'm going to live the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And it was almost unhappiness compounded by despair. There was a sense of despair there, like, I'm in a mess, I'm in a trap, and I don't know how to get out of it.
Yeah.
And I tried everything. I tried cold showers. I tried you know, we all know, right? We've done these things.
Yeah.
Yoga, humming into everything. Like I tried 100 things over, and just none of it did anything more than produce temporary relief to the symptoms.
Right.
And ultimately, when I actually found the way out of the mess that I was in, I'm like, I've got to share this.
Hmm.
I have to share this.
Yes.
I have to, there's many people in the mess that I was in who are also feeling lost, also feeling trapped, and also in a state of going, is this it? This cannot be the rest of my life. This can't be it.
Yeah.
And now the I love my job. I have an immense sense of purpose, satisfaction, gratification, joy. Why? Because I'm doing what I love, because out of my mess came my message, out of my pain came my purpose.
Yeah.
And if you're suffering right now, here's something that you can take away. The rock in the ocean that you almost brought your ship to wreck. You can do two things. You can curse it and say, "Curse you, rock, for bringing my ship to wreck." Or
Yeah.
you can go, "Damn you, rock. I'm going to build a lighthouse on this rock. And nobody else is going to come to shipwreck on this rock. Nobody else is going to suffer from you."
Right.
And then you start to develop purpose. And when you start to develop purpose, everything changes.
Yes,
Everything changes.
it does. It does. Now, you were talking about the RISE system, and you said you can go a little more in depth about it. Can you tell us a little about that? Because you went over it really
Sure.
quickly, but it seemed very powerful. Just when
Sure.
you went back and forth, I was like, wow, that's so true.
Well, let me give you a quick example of how this sort of came about, and then we can go into the details of how you
Yeah.
can use it in your life. So, for the first 20 years of my adult life, I had no problem attaining nice things. I had no problem attaining success. I was a millionaire by the age of 25, but I was bankrupt by the age of 26.
Wow.
I bought my dream house. It ended up catching fire. I got my dream car. I ended up wrecking it. I get in my dream relationship and she ends up leaving me. I had no issue getting the things that I wanted. The issue was I couldn't keep them. And this was a 20-year thing.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't understand it. And it was really depressing me greatly. After another relationship had ended, I was just very unhappy and depressed. And I'm like, why? Why do I keep losing these things? And then it came to me. When I was 5 years old, my father came home from work and he was holding a glove and he said, "Is this your glove, Cody?" I said, "It is." And he goes, "Do you know where I found it?" And I replied, "No, I don't." And he said, "I found it on the side of the road. You don't deserve nice things, Cody."
Wow.
And I'm like, as a 5 year old, I'm like, well, as a 5 year old, I had no filter. I had no way to process that information other than to internalize it. When the authority figure in your life, the deity in your life, the person that is all knowing, all being, all seeing,
Yeah.
gives you this information, you internalize it. And I internalized within my self-worth and identity at that point, my self-belief system, that I
Yes.
don't deserve nice things. Carl Jung beautifully put it, until we uncover the unconscious and make it conscious, it will continue to control your life and you'll call it fate.
Yes.
And I'm like, this is the key. Once I realized that I had an unconscious belief directing me and driving me,
Yeah.
that stated I don't deserve nice things. Now, it didn't say I can't get nice things. The belief was I don't deserve nice things. Every time I got nice things, I found a way to lose it. I found a way to sabotage it.
Right.
And if you want to know what those beliefs are that are driving you, look at the fruit. If you want to know the fruit of the tree, look at the root. If you're unhappy right now, you have an unhappiness root. If you're broke right now, you have financial roots that lead to poverty. If you have broken relationships or unhappy relationships, it's because there's subconscious beliefs that are unconscious that are driving you, and you're calling it fate. You just say, I'm unlucky or I'm just destined for this. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Once I uncovered that and realized that my father, completely unintentionally, he was a very loving father. He wasn't mean or anything.
Right.
Once I uncovered that belief of I don't deserve nice things, I was able to uproot and replace that belief instantaneously.
Exactly.
Instantaneously. And from that point forth, my life was never the same. I went from $9,000 to $187,000 to $1 million in a 3 year period. I met my wife within a few months. I'm with her to this day. I have beautiful house, beautiful, everything turned around.
Right.
And to what most people try to do, Stacey, is they look at the symptoms of their life. I don't have a relationship. I don't have the finances. I'm not happy. And effectively what they do is they say these spots on my face are causing measles. And it's like, no, no, no. The measles is causing the spots. Let's
Yeah.
address the measles.
Yes.
As long as you're in the belief system of these spots on my face are causing measles, you're going to be stuck.
Yes.
As long as you're in the belief system of saying the results in my life are causing my unhappiness,
Yes.
you're going to be stuck. No, no, no. Let's shine some light on this. Your unhappiness is causing the results in your life.
Right.
People go, well, my lack of direction is causing my unhappiness. No, your unhappiness is causing your lack of direction, your lack of purpose.
Yes.
And the change is instantaneous. We don't go through years of therapy. Like I get breakthroughs in 30 minutes that people have not been able to achieve in 20 years. Why? Because we shine light into the unconscious, we make it conscious. And this is the RISE system. The R stands for reveal.
Right.
We have to reveal the subconscious, unconscious beliefs that are driving you. We have to reveal them.
Yes.
Then we move to I, which is interrupt. Now we know it. My subconscious belief, my identity was I don't deserve nice things. I've revealed it. Now I have to interrupt that pattern.
Yes.
That pattern is what's producing the results in my life. So I have to interrupt it. So we go through a set of tools to interrupt those patterns.
Right.
The S stands for shift, which is shift your belief, shift your philosophy, shift your identity. The identity that created the mess that you're in is not the identity that's going to get you out of it.
Right.
The belief system, the philosophy, whatever you want to call it, that has created the life that you have right now is not the belief system and philosophy that's going to 10x, 20x, 100x the results in your life in the right direction.
Right.
And then finally, the final part of the formula, Stacey, is E, empower. We have to empower new behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where many philosophies do fall on shipwreck. The secret, for example, like many of these things, for years I believed this stuff, manifestation, the secret. If you can believe it, you can achieve it.
Yes.
Believed it with every fiber of my being, but it wasn't working.
Right.
Why? Why wasn't it working? Because as the Bible says, faith without works is dead. If we put that in a more contemporary sense with the secret, people go, well, if you can believe it, you can manifest it. No, if you can believe it, you can create activity that will produce it.
Right.
To to believe something, to believe you're something that you're not, is the beginning of delusion. Delusion.
Right.
To hold a vision in your mind of something that you can be and then empower action that moves you towards that. That's the missing piece of the puzzle.
Right.
So once we uncover, reveal the drivers, the unconscious that's causing you to get the results that are undesirable, we interrupt those patterns, we shift the thinking, the philosophies, and then we create an action plan, an empowerment plan to empower you to move in a direction that's going to allow you to actually take possession of what you want. Your life can turn around in minutes,
Yes.
and it can be physical, mental, emotional. I've seen physical illnesses disappear in a second,
Mm-hmm.
lifelong depression disappear, relationships that are utterly broken heal in literally in the snap of a finger.
Right. Now, how is it? So, when it comes to the unconscious, so some people say, when we tap into our unconscious, there's different ways to do it. And it could be very difficult. Sometimes people, they'll wake up and all of a sudden they'll have like a dream right before they wake up and their heart might be pounding or they have these thoughts and they're trying to figure it out. And they say that's from our unconscious, working through us, through our dreams. Some people say hypnosis can wake up
Hmm.
the unconscious and bring us to understanding what is behind, what's holding us back or what's giving us fears or what's doing whatever is doing because
Hmm.
90% is all unconscious right here.
Hmm.
And then we'll
Hmm.
have the 10% and everything else we just is it built in our unconscious, but it's still playing a huge role in our life. It's
Hmm.
just people just don't understand. They don't know. And, for you, how did you tap into the unconscious? How did you get to the point where you were understanding what was going on in your unconscious brain and be able to utilize that in a positive way so you could change your life?
Well, the simple answer to the question is it's much simpler than hypnosis or dream interpretation and stuff like that. If you want to know the root of a tree, what do? You
Hmm.
look at the fruit that it's producing, and if it's a lemon tree, if a tree is producing lemons,
Yeah, yeah.
what is that tree?
It's a
It's
lemon
a
tree.
lemon tree. And if you want to know, if you want to uncover the root, which is the unconscious, we have to look at the obvious, which is the fruit.
Right,
And a super simple way to do that is you've got to ask yourself, what would I have to believe to do this? What would I have to believe to behave this way?
right.
For me, in my example, for me to self-sabotage anything that was nice in my life, what would I have to believe to do that?
Hmm.
Oh, I'd have to believe that I don't deserve nice stuff.
Right.
If you, I work with a lot of people in the relationship environment. We were talking about that briefly before the show, and I'll ask somebody, well, you have everything. You have a beautiful wife, beautiful children, the house, the income, that the car, you have everything, yet you've sabotaged it.
Yes.
When you said that thing you said to your wife, were you so dumb as to not know that the impact that that was going to have? Of
Yes.
course you knew. You knew that was going to be devastating. You knew that was going to be damaging, yet you did it anyway.
Right.
So your conscious is telling me, I want this marriage, but your unconscious, the fruit of the tree here is destruction.
Hmm.
You're actively destroying this marriage.
Right.
What would you have to believe to actively destroy this marriage?
Right.
I'd have to believe I don't deserve love.
Right.
I'd have to believe I'm not good enough for this woman. I'd have to believe that I'm not a good father and these children would be better off without me.
Right.
I'd have to believe that I don't deserve all of this stuff.
Hmm.
But here's the thing, right? This is the kicker, Stacey. It's painful. Most people would rather blame circumstance and blame fate than look at themselves and have to look deep down inside and see the ugliness that's in there.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that. And this is one of the questions I first ask when I start working with people is, do you want to get better, Stacey, or do you want to feel better? Because they're not the same.
Right.
If you just want to feel better, I can let you talk to me about what an a-hole your husband is for an hour and agree with you, and you're going to feel heard, understood, and you're going to feel better.
Hmm.
But you're going to go back into the same situation and nothing is going to get better.
Right.
You can feel better by talking. The only way you can get better is by doing,
Yes.
which is why we have the E part of the RISE formula, empower new behavior.
Hmm.
You can uncover, you can reveal the beliefs, you can interrupt them, and you can shift your thinking. But unless you empower new behavior, the only way you actually get better is through new behavior.
Right.
And quite often, to be perfectly honest with you, when I start working with a lot of people, they do just go, "I want to feel better. That's it. I just want to feel better." It's like, well, I'm not your guy then. We're here to get on the field and play ball. We're not here to talk about it on Sunday afternoon.
Right. Exactly.
We're not armchair quarterbacks. We're participants in the game. We're
Hmm.
we're, we're here to take over, Stacey, not take part.
Yes, 100%, 100%. I would assume going through that too is also a painful process because any healing is painful. When you went through the process yourself, what did it
Mm.
was it a hard process to go through? Because you have to come to some realizations. You have to come to
Yeah,
you really understand your faults and then do something about it, like you said, make the change. You know, some because it's very
yeah.
hard for a lot of people to get face to face and look at themselves honestly. Was it hard for you?
Well, look, not really, because on the other side of it, you have to feel the pain one more time.
Yes.
So here's your choice. You can feel the pain one more time, and you can free yourself forever from the pain, and then you
Right.
can move forward with a sensational life, or you can feel the pain every day for the rest of your life.
Right.
And let's just look at some common beliefs. Abandonment,
Hmm.
or I'm not good enough. We were told I'm not good enough, or one of mine was like I wanted to be I was always picked last for the sports teams at school,
Right. Right.
and that was painful for me.
Yeah.
And it puts a lot of beliefs in your system. I'm not good enough. Nobody likes me. Nobody wants to play with me. Nobody
Right.
wants me on their team. Well,
Right.
as a 10-year-old on a school field, that's fine. Like, but when you're moving through the corporate world, nobody wants me on their team. When you're moving into a relationship, this person doesn't like me. No, this person loves you more than life themselves. It's you. You don't love yourself and you're projecting that onto them.
Yeah.
And to uncover that and to move beyond that and through that and heal to where you're capable of having a relationship with yourself, you're capable of having a relationship with somebody else, and you're capable of holding and carrying happiness, you have to face that belief one more time.
Right.
You have to look at it one more time and go, okay, that was I was a 10-year-old
Hmm.
dealing with 10-year-olds. It didn't mean anything.
Right.
Didn't mean anything. Yet I've taken something that was meaningless and I've allowed it to direct the rest of my life. How dumb
Right.
is that?
Exactly.
I'm allowing events that meant nothing. Were those 10-year-old kids mean? Or were they just 10-year-old kids?
Right.
They didn't, it's nothing. But
Right.
when I go back and I go, right, okay, that has given me the belief that nobody wants me on their team. That has given me the belief that it's like, well, are you gonna apply for the promotion? Are you gonna push yourself? Are you gonna start the business? Are you gonna go after the big win? Of course you're not.
Right.
Of course you're not. But what's more painful is it going back and looking at that one belief one more time and going, it's BS and you can go now?
Yeah.
Or is it dealing with a life of failure?
Right.
Dealing with a life of I didn't even try because I didn't think I was good enough. So you've got the choice of a little bit of pain or a great deal of pain, a
Yes.
little bit of pain leading to a sensational life, or that, as I talked about at the beginning, just that low level hum
Hmm.
of dissatisfaction. Like most of us are not clinically depressed. We're just apathetic would be a good word, I think.
Yeah.
We're just apathetic to life. It's like it's just life's disappointed me and I've just accepted it.
Right. I think it's really great that you came up with this because I think it's very effective because I've seen people hold on to their past, their childhood past, and it has taken a role into their adulthood years, and they actually have a lot of misery inside them because of what happened to them when they were 7 or 8, and they remember it clear as day because it had such a traumatic impact. Simple things, kids making fun of them, maybe not showing up for the birthday party, being put on the side, because the coaches didn't think that you were good enough and always having to sit on the side. Those things like stick with a lot of people. It's amazing how your childhood years, it really, could really have a damper on your entire life and your level of happiness if it's not, you don't do something at some point in your life.
Well, effectively, we adopt these views. When I was 5 years old, my father gave me the self-image of I don't deserve nice stuff. Now I'm 30, at the age of 35, it's like a 5-year-old's running the show.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why things are going wrong.
Right.
I've got a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old now, and it's like if I let them run the show, and when happiness and fulfillment and joy and purpose and mental freedom, emotional freedom is the ultimate goal of what we're looking for here. Like
Yes.
we're looking to achieve a place of emotional freedom. My head is a nice place to be. Come visit.
Yes.
Come visit. Whereas before I'm like, you don't want to be inside my head. I watched an interview with Elon Musk and with Joe Rogan. It's one of the things he said. He goes, you don't want to be inside my head. It's not a nice place to be.
Right.
And that's what that's what we want. We want the emotional freedom to where it's spacious and it's clean and it's
Yeah.
productive and it's
Yeah.
directing us. But here's the thing, when you didn't get picked for the school team at the age of 10, that's 10-year-old. When you didn't get invited to the birthday party at the age of 7, that's 7 years old. When your parents told you you're just you're just a mess. You're just a mess, Stacey. You're a
Right.
mess all the time. It's like that was a 5-year-old. Well, now we've got a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 10-year-old running the show, but you're not 5, 7, and 10 anymore.
Right. So true.
And one of the things like I talk to people in various situations, they go, "Oh, I've got 20 years of experience, Cody." I'm like, "Do you? Do you have 20 years of sales experience, or do you have 6 months of experience repeated 40 times?"
Exactly.
I've got 20 years of experience helping people, Cody. Do you? Or do you have 6 months of experience repeated 20 times? Were you continuously growing those 20 years, learning something
Right.
month after month, period after period?
Right.
And the same is true. Where we go wrong in life, Stacey, is we educate the intellect. We do that through school, college, professional education, ongoing education. You've probably been educating yourself your entire life, as many. Intellectually, we've been educating ourselves. But the emotion needs to be educated in the same way that intellect needs to be educated.
Yes.
If your intellectual education stopped at the age of 5, where
Hmm.
would you be right now?
Right.
Yet
I
your
speak to people like that too.
yeah, yet most likely your emotional education stopped at the age of 5.
Yeah.
When you look at the intellect, the effort needed to educate your intellect to get you 12 years of school, 4 years of college, 3 years of internship or whatever it's like, and then ongoing education, that's the level of education that the intellect needs to receive to be competent.
Right.
Where does that happen with the emotion? Where does the emotion receive that education?
Hmm.
It stops at the age of 5 or 6, if it gets any at all. And effectively, what you end up with is you've got a 5-year-old directing a 40-year-old's life.
Yes.
And we're confused, like, my life's not going how it plans. Well, you let your 5-year-old run the show. What
Yeah.
did you think? In what universe does that turn out well?
Oh my God, you hit it on the nail. It's so true. I've known so many people that they were very intellectual. They got the school, they had the education, but they act like a child and they live a life like a child and their behaviors are childlike. But yet they have grown-up jobs, they have experience, they have education, but yet all their decisions and their behaviors are run by that 5-year-old brain.
Exactly right. When your husband says something to you or your wife says something to you and you respond, is that you responding or is that the 7-year-old that got left out of the birthday party?
Exactly.
Is that a 7-year-old girl that's mad because the other girls didn't include you and now you're taking that out on the husband? One thing I love to say, Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, said it, and he said to be angry is easy, but to be angry at the right person at the right time for the right reason and in the right amount, that's not easy.
Right. Yes, that's very true.
And if we look at our unhappiness, it's like how much of our unhappiness is coming from we had a right to be angry, but we were angry at the wrong person at the wrong time for the wrong reasons and in the wrong amount.
Yes.
And what can we call that? We can call that a lack of emotional education, a lack of emotional intelligence.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that we look at. We have to uncover the beliefs, of course. We have to interrupt and shift and empower new behavior, but we also have to make sure that you don't just replace them again.
Yes.
We got to make sure that we don't fire a 5-year-old as a CEO of your life of your life and put a 6-year-old in their place.
Yes.
We got to go back and go, okay, well, these are the patterns that have got you to where you are. We have to identify, interrupt, and replace. But we also have to make sure that moving forward, we have a new philosophy, we have a new decision-making process, we have a new emotional perspective of the world, or else we're just going to recreate what it is we've taken away.
Right. That's 100% true. And how do you get, is it, because I would think it's very hard when you have somebody that is very intellectual, very smart, but has
Yeah,
but it has a lot of emotional distress and problems, and they have that childlike behavior. You know, I would think a lot of people are in denial. I see a lot of people in denial, and I think it would be pretty rough. When do people get to that point where they want to change and they want to work on that emotional that childlike behavior, or is it something that you
yeah,
see not very rarely does that happen? Is it something hard?
yeah.
Because I think a lot of people don't want to admit that they're still immature and acting like a child even though they're in a grown-up body.
It's a great question, and it's an unfortunate answer because the true answer to the question is people take action when their life becomes unmanageable.
Yeah.
The number of people that I've worked with in relationships and marriages where the marriage was completely savable, but they left it too late.
Hmm.
It wasn't until the wife left that the man said, "I'm ready to take action now. I'm ready to change." And it's like, well, she's been trying for years to get you to change, and the changes that you need to make are simple.
Yeah.
The alcoholic or the person dealing with addiction comes to me when the addiction is unmanageable. I had a great story of I had a mother come to me very recently, and it's one of my prouder moments where the son was absolutely suicidal and was able to walk the child back off the ledge. And it's a great success story. I saw him at the swimming pool yesterday. He's on top of the world now. Absolutely fantastic. But it's like the mother only came to me when the son reached the point of suicide.
Right.
Did you not see the warning signs?
Right.
Why do we have to wait to get to the point of crisis? The alcoholic is in crisis. The marriage is in crisis. The child-parent relationship is in crisis. The finances are in crisis. That's usually when people make decisions. But here's wisdom. Wisdom is recognizing that you are in the good old days before they come the good old days.
Right.
You'll look in the mirror that we all do it, right? I guarantee you looked in the mirror this morning and went, oh, there's the wrinkle here, or there's this, or maybe there's a gray hair, or this or that. But here's the thing, right? You're looking at it going, oh, I'm getting old. I do that. But here's the thing, you're going to look at this interview 5 years from now and go, man, I looked young. Look how young I looked.
Mhm.
You'll never be younger than you are now. There'll never be a better day than today. There'll never be a better time than right now. And it's like, this is the good old days.
Yes.
This is the good old days. And most people, unfortunately, are hell-bent on waiting for the good old days to go by, move into the future, and then look back and go, man, what a waste.
Right.
Those were the good old days. What an opportunity I wasted. It's like, don't let that happen.
Yes.
Don't let that happen. Take action now. Don't wait till you've got cancer or heart disease to change your diet. Don't wait till you're 30 pounds overweight to exercise. Don't wait till your wife's left you to work
Right.
on your relationship skills. Don't wait till the debt collectors are calling you saying, there's more month at the end of the month than there is money in the bank.
Yes.
Do it now.
Hmm.
It's easy now. And it's like I was with my wife, I was having dinner with the family last night, and it's a great example. And we say, hey, let's clear the table, guys. Take your dishes to the dishwasher now. And my wife's like, we'll do it later. And I'm like, why? Why? Why would you do it later when it's hard, when you're tired and you want to relax and it's closer to the end of the day and you're like, what makes you think you're going to do it when it's hard
Yeah.
when you can't do it while it's easy?
Right.
And it's insanity. And that's where a lot of people that are in unhappiness or, fill in your blank, spiritually unhappy, unfulfilled, lack of purpose, emotional distress, trauma. you're going, well, I'll take action at some point in the future. Really? You're telling me that you're going to do it, take action when it's hard, when you're failing to take action while it's easy.
Right.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Right. That's so true.
Take action now. Well, it's easy. It'll never be easier than today. You'll never be younger than you are today. You'll never be in better shape than you are right now. You'll never be more capable than you are right now. Now is the day. Now is your time.
Exactly. Oh, so well said. So well said. Because
Thank you.
so many people use that time as an excuse, but it's so true. Today is the day, and to stop waiting. Now, if you had to take today's conversation and you really wanted to emphasize on some important factors, what are some takeaways that you'd like to emphasize to our listeners?
It's really decide what you want. Like your life is not fate. Many of us are looking at our situation going, this is who I am. I hear stuff like, well, my wife's Lebanese and she's like, she shouts, she's an Arab. And she's like, well, I'm just Lebanese, I can't help it. Or I'm just Italian, I can't help it. Or, I'm English, I'm reserved. It's like, no, no, no. These are all programs you're running. I'm just unlucky. It's just not meant to be for me. No, not true. None of that. You can have anything you want. You can be anything you want. You can do anything you want. You can feel any way you want to feel. And the path to that is just ditching your story, ditching your excuses, and understanding that it's the unconscious that's driving you. And if you want to change, you have to uncover the unconscious, bring it into the light, make it conscious, and then make a decision moving forward. I want to live differently. I want to live in a state of emotional freedom. I want to experience purpose on a daily basis. I
Yeah.
want to live a life of fulfillment, not a life of frustration. Make a decision and then take action.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Now tell us some of the services that you provide.
So I probably the best way if you want to is I've got this book here, Cut the BS, a no nonsense guide to happiness, and you can get that at the happiness or happinessblueprint.com, happinessblueprint.com. That's a great way to start to get acquainted with my work. Uh, I also have a happiness assessment to assess your skills in creating happiness, and that's happinessquiz.net. I have a waiting list to work with me on a one-to-one basis right now. So if you're interested in learning more, then the best place to get started is to grab a copy of the book. And if you like what's in the book, then you'll probably like some of the other stuff that I've got to offer. If you don't like what's in the book, you probably won't. So happinessblueprint.com for the book. And if you want to take the happiness self-assessment quiz, get some tips and some advice on how you can improve certain areas of your life, happinessquiz.net, happinessquiz.net.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And if they wanted to get in touch with you, they just would go to your website.
Yeah, codybutler.com.
Okay, wonderful.
There should be a
Wonderful.
contact form on there.
I love it. I love it. This has been amazing. You are just absolutely amazing. I
Thank
love,
you.
your program is amazing and it really hits it on the button and it's very simplistic. It's easy to understand, but yet very powerful. And that's what I love about it. And I really thank you so much for coming on this show, because this is a topic I think many people need help in. And I thank you so much for taking the time to help write the book and and share it with the world and come on this show and share with all our listeners. So thank you so much for coming today.
No, thank you. Your show is sensational. You're sensational, and I'm very, very privileged to be here. Thank you. I'm honored that you had me on. Thank you, Stacey.
Oh, you're welcome. And you have a great day.
I sure will.